Okay, well, welcome everybody. It is Monday, and it's 12:32 p.m. here on the west coast of the United States of America. I have had a very eventful weekend, I would say, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about where we were, the conference, if you've been following on Instagram or if you've been following what's... I put up some pictures and stuff like that on YouTube as well. Maybe not. We might play some clips and show some pictures and stuff like that. But without going into this further, let me welcome for the first time officially on Apologia Center, my very good friend.
What's
Tom.
up, guys? Promises made, promises kept.
Oh, this guy. You know his political stances
We're here.
now. You know his
We're
political
here.
stances now. Let me just check something here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, I'm scared of the audio always acting up and picking up different stuff. So
you
Tom,
you gotta get me some nice merch.
yeah, we'll get
Can't
you
be
merch,
coming in
bro.
these
We'll get you merch if everybody else gets
blank
their
shirts.
merch. So Tom, you weren't with me at the conference,
No.
even though I'm very sure that you would have wished to be with me.
Yeah, of course.
And-
I was at another conference. It was a men's retreat in Fraser Park. Actually snowed one of the days, so it was very nice. But yeah, I wish I was there. Maybe next year.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we will definitely make that happen where you are there next year with us. So what were you doing over the weekend? Let us know.
Yeah, so I was like I said at that somewhere called Camp Arev. It's an Armenian Evangelical Union retreat they hold once a year for men and women. So women are next week, and we were leading the worship. So our church, the same one Mr. Apologetic here attends, our worship team was doing the worship, and I'm the worship leader here at Anchor. So I was there, and it was a beautiful time. A bunch of men. Some very seasoned in their faith, some very new, and some that are completely unbelievers, atheists. Actually, one of them accepted Jesus into his life, so there was a conversion
Nice.
there. So it was beautiful to see.
Very nice. And work with us, folks. As you're watching this, I might have to give Tom some instruction because we're figuring out kind of.
Yeah.
I'm monitoring everything in my ears, so audio wise and stuff. So it's not getting picked up by multiple sources. Like my mic, his mic's not picking up my mic. But at times when he says stuff, because maybe he's louder than me.
I'm trying to speak softly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Usually very loud.
I need to. I'm gonna mess with the settings eventually and make sure that it's like closed essentially, or outside voices and coming in. But we got 20 people in here watching,
Wow.
and we only have 8 likes.
Sheesh.
Even though we got a reminder there that's like, have you hit the like button? And 78% of people have said they've hit that like button.
Liars. Bunch of liars.
Come on, man.
I wasn't that good at math, but I know a math equation when I see one.
Now, folks, hit the like button. Let's say hi to the people that are in here. We got Amber here from When Deep Calls to Deep. What's up, Amber? How you doing? The very Reverend Nick Quint.
Nick.
Soon to be Doctor.
Legendary.
Reverend Doctor. Reverend always comes before Doctor. It's more important. Prestigious. Reverend Dr. Nick Quint. Well, not doctor yet, but again, the New Testament theologist. We got Jerome in the house, joining us from all the
What
way
up, Jerome?
across the world. I actually just forgot that this guy will permanently be here now. I can't believe he just referred to you as this guy.
It's okay. I'll text him after.
This guy. He's not permanently going to be here, by the way. So
I'm gonna live here. Actually, I'm renting out the studio, $3,000 a month right here.
well, that sounds like LA
Leaving
prices.
my family to live here.
Oh, that sounds
Priorities,
like LA
brother.
prices. That's so horrendous. So what we are trying to do right now, we're going to say that Tom's going to be with us in the studio once a week at least. We're going to start with once a week. And then hopefully we can add that, and yeah, he can be permanent. Let's go. David says, okay, they're talking about you. Everyone's talking about you.
Yeah, I'm looking.
If
at
you
the
guys
chat
got
from-
questions, if you guys got questions for Tom, let us
Wow, I'm
know,
such a
man.
big draw. I was actually that was gonna be my first question. I was gonna ask you what the biggest draw at the conference was, at the Blessed God Summit.
What the biggest draw at the conference was?
It could be a person, but it could also be like an event that was happening, that was everyone was vibing with, as the young people say.
Why don't you run a little bit? I'm gonna mess with your audio a little bit.
Is it that bad?
No, it's not. But
All right. So, yeah, man, I was. I guess I'll say something. I was really blessed this weekend because, obviously, Mr. Apologetic himself was doing all the blessed God stuff, sending us pictures, posting stuff on Instagram, and then our worship team was leading the music portion at Camp Arev for a men's retreat. And this men's retreat is really cool because it's a bunch of men coming from different churches, mainly in Southern California, but it's supposed to be all of North America, I think. And it's just so interesting. Some of these people you see once a year, some of these people you see all the time, and to just see how. So you know what's funny, Arthur? There was probably men from ages like 16 all the way to mid 80s, but all of them were being boys. So you had like a 70-year-old sitting on an ATV, like racing a 17-year-old on a motorcycle, like a dirt bike, and it was just so cool to see. I remember texting my wife saying, regardless of the age, throw a bunch of men together, and they're just gonna act like boys. And it was so much fun. Wish you were there, man. Wish you were there.
That would have been fun. I would have enjoyed that.
This is to help Tom's rent. That's so funny.
So big shout outs to David.
Amazing.
David, thanks for the $10, man. I appreciate it. We got a long way to go.
So YouTube's gonna tax you on that $10, and then you're gonna tax me on it, and then I'm gonna end up with a couple dollars. Come on, y'all. I need some more rent money.
35 cents. Sounds like a democratic government. So we're going to, again, if you got questions for Tom, myself, if you got specific questions about the conference, we're going to definitely get to those. Again, we're live adjusting here. So trying to get certain things functioning properly.
Let me know if you want me to speak softer or
no.
I can whisper.
Speak into the mic. Try speaking
better?
into the mic. Yeah. So if you want to
Yeah. You know, I'm not new to microphones, but
I know, but
not these large ones.
Like this, like.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, just
all right.
Lean into it. I'm gonna show you guys soon what the schedule for the Blessed God Summit was and how just phenomenal of an event it was. I think Ruslan did a really good job. I'm surprised. Look, I will be very surprised if they go live today. Because I told Ruslan and Zach, and I was like, bro, you guys better go sleep for the next 3 days. Surprised Ruslan still has his voice. Because he was essentially emceeing. No, he was emceeing the entire event essentially and gave an opening talk and stuff and was on all the panels. So yeah, that's, takes a toll. Like, it's taken a toll on me. I didn't publicly speak. I did 2 different panels on night 1, but I spoke to a lot of people, like always in a conversation with folks. And so that kind of gets to you eventually.
Yeah, I heard some of those stories. We were hanging out yesterday and Arthur was letting me know some of those interesting stories. Who was the most interesting person you met over there? Well, or someone you weren't expecting to be the way they were. Let's say it like that.
Well, I've met a good amount of the people I already know. So Alan Parr was a guy I met for the first time. He was exactly what I expected him to be. And Alex O'Connor, I wasn't surprised at the sort of individual he is.
I can't believe he's that tall, though.
He is. A lot of people were like, it's funny because when we look at people on camera, Like people look at me on camera and then they meet me. They're like, "Oh, you're shorter."
Hmm.
And then a lot of people were talking about how David is very tall, and then Alex is very tall, and then even Gavin Ortland's tall as well. Like a lot of those guys are very skinny and tall. And props to David Wood. He's put off some weight, man. He's looking good. He's showing off his guns. Did y'all get Ruslan's new kicks? It's called Blessed Peace. Oh my God! Stop spreading rumors, Nick. Hey, what's going on, Laura? Jimmy's in the house. Hey, Arthur, I heard you had a talk with Jacob during the Bless God Summit. How did it go? I got a picture of that, actually. Let me try. Jacob is a guy I met for the first time. He's, Tom, Jacob is the LDS gentleman that was on.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
I had a couple of different pictures, but I wanted to keep that one because of the...
I like that. Looks like intriguing dialogue.
It's very, and I'll tell you what the dialogue was about. So let me see how I want to pull this up as we work with. Ooh, look at that, Tom. Look what we just did. I like that. Ooh, we went like that, and then we can go boom. What's up? So this is a live picture someone took. I didn't know someone took this picture. Someone took it and sent it to me.
Sure.
No, I'm serious. I didn't know someone took this picture. Like, you see this little bag in my hand? That's food for my family. Like I was in the middle of, so I sat through their entire conversation. Not this conversation. Jacob had to sit down with Avery from God Logic, and that's going to get released on Avery's channel. It was a really good conversation, but like towards the end of it, I had to kind of run off to get food for my family because they were starving, and came back. They had finished. I went in there and I was like, Jacob, I got to have a really quick conversation with you. And this is a part of that. So.
Oh, is this? Oh, that's just a live photo.
That's a live photo. Yeah, but I love like all the hand motions, like mine, his. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's like Jordan Peterson's in it. Jordan Peterson's with us. So, what I asked Jacob this, Tom, because LDS folks believe that we are all spirit children of the Heavenly Father. So I very simply asked him whether there was a Heavenly Mother. And what that looks like, and who is the Heavenly Mother. And so he gave me some responses on that. And yeah.
Who's your mama?
It was it was a really, really cool conversation, I think they had.
It's such a simple question, but see, that's the stuff that apologetics helps with, especially hanging around with someone like Arthur. Sometimes the simple question is the question you need to ask. Like, you don't need to find some deep, like, oh, what can I ask this guy? Sometimes it's like, hey, if we have a Heavenly Father, who's our mother? And sometimes that's the question.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk with this question. Charlie T. Charlie, is it your first time on my channel? Welcome. So Charlie says, what is actually the purpose of the summit created by Ruslan? This summit and Ruslan are synonymous.
Wow.
So, okay. Because Ruslan put it together. So I suppose they are. So here's the schedule. The purpose of the summit was essentially it's threefold purpose, you guys. So let me see if he's got it here. And he had it on that main flyer. So the main flyer, right here, you see that? It says encourage, empower, inspire. Okay? So encourage, empower, inspire. And that's what it was. So you had everything, man. Everything. You had apologists. Dustin over here won America's Got Talent in 2021. Dustin gave like brilliant performance, right? So he did. He's an illusionist, right? Or he does magic.
Is that okay? Is that allowed in Christianity? Magic?
You mean sleight of hand illusionist stuff? Yeah.
I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, okay. He actually opened up with that. Yeah, like it's obviously something that comes up all the time. But he gave such a phenomenal story about God as he did that, because he narrates the show. So it was really cool because he was talking about the hidden things of God. He was talking about how things sometimes don't make sense until we kind of have a bigger picture of it, and then he includes these tricks into it. So that was really cool. John Keith rapped. So yeah, there was conversations about fitness. There's conversations. Lila Rose had a conversation about opening up running a nonprofit, what that looks like. There was conversations about how to be a Christian and be single. There was conversations about how to be married. Alan Parr and his wife gave a talk about getting married late, because Alan got married when he was 40. Like what it's like to stay faithful to the Lord.
Yeah. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, man. Like,
top left.
Oh, there I am. I was on a panel, so I didn't have
hands. So you look like you were ready for that picture, man.
Oh, this was a photo op I took before I went to Armenia. That's why I look like a little younger. There was a debate, right? There was Mr. David Wood debated Alex O'Connor.
Hey, is that going to be released?
That will be released in about 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Dallas Jenkins was there. He spoke about the chosen, the difficulties, how to be faithful to God in the midst of failure. Really, really cool stuff. Conversations about YouTube and all that stuff. So the schedule was like really packed. So if you look at it, this is essentially, we started at 5:00 on Thursday, and Ruslan got up there and kind of explained what the conference is about. And then we went into it straight away. Mike Jones from Inspiring Philosophy and I and Ruslan got up there and we spoke about worldview formation and why worldviews matter. And then Sean McDowell got up there and gave a talk on the resurrection. As you can see, it just went on. And then look, we ended at 10 p.m. First day, and then it goes into the second day. We start at 8 in the morning. I mean, that's, there's some food to eat and stuff. So you can say 9 o'clock it starts, and we went on, man. Like, this was a brilliant part, the way they did this, because you had essentially breakout rooms where people were talking about different stuff.
You just walk in and walk out, or was it like signing up and stuff?
No, like you just picked which one you wanted to be a part of, and then you go sit through it. Like for example, like David Wood and John McCrae gave a talk on suffering well. Like David Wood and John McCrae are not individuals that you might be thinking about when it comes to like suffering. But both of those guys have some crazy stories, right? Gavin Ortland gave a talk on handling disagreement. There's a lot of Q&As and interaction and stuff like that.
So what was I had a similar question as someone that just put something in the chat. What was the overarching theme? Like if you were to summarize the entire theme of the summit, what would it be? So
he went off of this theme of bless God, like blessing God with our lives and the way we live. So that's why it involved virtue.
Got it.
It involved apologetics. It involved being an entrepreneur. It involved being a Christian who's in the marketplace and, living your life and how that impacts the world. Like, so I'd say when I read that in regards to like inspiring and so on and so forth, encouraging and inspiring and stuff, that would be.
What were some of the apologetics related stuff?
Sean McDowell gave a talk on the resurrection. Yeah. So that was on the first night he gave it. The first night essentially was a lot of the apologetic stuff.
Nice.
Right. And then J. Warner Wallace gave a talk about identity in Christ. J. Warner Wallace is an excellent presenter, like speaker. And it's really cool. Like he said something, bro, that like, in a way, like it makes you feel guilty. So he said he has journaling Bibles he's bought, and he's reading through the text and taking notes in it. And he's like timed it out somehow, where he does that every year, and then he's gonna give those to his grandkids when they were like 13.
Wow. With
his notes in there. So it's like a commentary from grandpa.
That's amazing.
And I was like, wow, like how does that affecting your children and all that stuff? Henry says, I heard David Wood didn't do well, but he also didn't prepare. Who told you this nonsense? Like, where did you hear that from, Henry? That's absolute bunk. David Wood won the debate. He didn't dominate and demolish because Alex was very prepared. And Alex did a really good job. Alex did an excellent job. Okay? So, I don't know who you heard that from. I don't really know.
How do you come to that conclusion, Arthur, about who won the debate? Like, how personally, how do you do that?
I took notes.
Okay.
So look, I'll tell you what my notes are like, and I'm trying to be objective in these sorts of things. I was also texting Nate Sala from the Wise Disciple YouTube channel. Nate's a phenomenal man, and I was like, I was kind of like I'd look at the intros and I'd be like, okay, who do I think gave a better intro, right? And then I would text Nate and be like, how did you score that? Who do you think won? Okay. And so there's always rubrics to debate, grading debates. But I want to know whether they stuck on subject, whether they kept their time. But how does this happen?
Oh, man.
That makes no sense, Tom.
It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Well, I want to know if it's going to come back.
Oh, you just clicked something and it popped back for a second.
See, this is the live stuff we're trying to do.
Internal temperature too high. I'm telling you, man, every time I'm on camera, that's the thing that pops up. Something's going on. Might be this new fresh fade I got.
Oh, it is a nice fade.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna pull stuff and
Yeah. Internal temperature too high. I can't wait to see that debate, by the way.
Okay, it's back. Let's see. That's weird. I don't know why it does that. Yeah, it was a really good debate. I really, really enjoyed the debate. And so the notes I took essentially were, did they stick to their time? I like it when people are not ridiculously rude in debates. So I think I give points for just decorum, I guess. That matters quite a bit. So for example, I wrote intro, David, affirmative, intro. And the debate is, did Jesus claim to be God? David came at it with the two powers in heaven. He spoke about how the Father-Son language is used. There's two lords in heaven. Out of the Psalms, he spoke about the Son of Man and gave 3 different points on the Son of Man. One was from Daniel. One is that Jesus judges the nations, and the other one is that he raises the dead. And those are all things that God does. Alex was in the negative. He brought up Psalm 82. Elohim language, Elohim meaning there are many gods. The oneness of God, and how that kind of shifts stuff. And then he says Jesus' existence being, what did I write here? Jesus' existence being him speaking about it as God. Yeah, so he did this very interesting thing of the before the foundations of the world language is not ontological existence. It's sort of like God's plan. And I thought that was very clever. And then he had another thing in there about him carrying the name of Yahweh, not necessarily being Yahweh. So I thought David slightly did better on the intro. Some people thought it was pretty even. But I think the first rebuttal, Alex won. Alex had a really good rebuttal. David recovered from that. I think he had his second rebuttal. His second rebuttal was his winner. The Q&A was... I wish the Q&A was done better. I told Ruslan this as well. I wish they each had a time limit, or they took turns. You ask a question, and go back and forth. And because I think Alex dominated the Q&A by just asking David questions. And David didn't get a chance to ask a question. Ruslan at one point stopped and said, David, do you want to ask questions? He's like, no, I'm good. So, I wish he would have been forced to ask a question. I think it would have been better. And then they had their closing statements. Got to hang out with both those guys before and after, definitely after. Spent really good time with them. I brought up a couple of concerns to Alex O'Connor. And Alex was like, dude, those are really good points. I don't really have a response.
Please show that new Snapchat filter picture.
With this one?
Yeah, those are amazing.
So this one was done by, this is me and that's me and JP. Okay, so JP sent me this. I feel like it made me older and it gave JP way more facial hair than it's supposed to. It's supposed to. Where is it?
So the chat is saying that JP is claiming that Alex won the debate.
JP is not claiming that. People need to read his video that's coming up. I might be on that if time permits today, but I think Sam said that David lost the debate, and JP saying at least that's what I saw earlier in the morning that he had posted. So we'll see.
Sam who?
Sam Shamoon.
Oh, okay.
And that's just not true, man. I had multiple people that are very thoughtful on these things. This one was an interesting one. This was from Twitter. We went out. Mike Jones posted this. Mike Jones posted the actual picture. Where's the actual picture? This is the actual picture. This is the actual picture. And then some people took it on Twitter and turned it into this.
That's such a better picture.
Yeah, it's interesting that Mike is not laughing in this. Like, he's got that angry face, and then he's like super laughing in this. And then even this one. But I think they told the AI to specifically make him smile. This was interesting.
Man, I love how innocent this filter makes you look.
Makes me look?
Yeah. Look at that. Like, you look like... like, go to the original. You look like you're a mob boss there. And then next picture, you look like this nice high schooler.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, it is. It's hilarious. But I was going to show... there's a little conversation that somebody recorded. I want to see if I can find it from the beginning. God, here's what they're saying. Let me paraphrase this. The paraphrase is,
let's keep our questions to 3.
Are we hugging here? No. Okay, so this is because there's two videos. I always mix them up. So this was me and Alex talking afterwards, and he brought up Act 6. And I responded to him, and I said, here's the question. Essentially, in Act 6, I think what's going on is that Stephen is... the argument is essentially that Jesus is God, because they're accusing Stephen of preaching that Jesus is going to destroy the temple and get rid of the law of Moses.
Okay, just put the video. I'll take care of that.
Let me see something. There's two of me, guys. The question is whether it's the camera that's having the issues or it's the black magic.
I think it's the camera. I think it's an internal setting in the camera.
And turn it off and turn it on and see what happens. So I'll play this like that. Because I forget you can't hear these videos. So here's Alex and I talking, and somebody took this video because they said I was standing like Cliff Connectly. I took the street preacher stance, and I told them, the individual that told me that, I said, I used to do street and campus ministry, bro. So can you cancel that thing? It's here. Just hit menu. Hit it again. Yeah, you're good. So they said that I look like Cliff Connectly by the stance I got there. And so here's me and Alex talking. It's God, here's what they're saying. Let me paraphrase it. The paraphrase is,
Let's keep our questions to 3 minutes.
oh gosh. I think the question or the comment is,
Bro, you better do that too, right?
look, they're recording my feet. Jesus is going to start a new covenant. They're not recording the conversation. They don't care.
Would be why this interpretation of Jesus claiming to be God, if that itself is enough to interpret this God claim, as David said himself, like the Jews refer to the Messiah until he does this sort of Son of Man imagery, and so what you're saying might be true, and that is kind of interesting.
And then here.
So he was saying
But they do the same thing at Jesus. They do the same thing at Jesus' trial.
Yeah, that's right. But the thing,
Like they're like half truths.
half truths. Yeah.
They're like Jesus will destroy the temple. Well, sort of kind of. He said.
So I want to know why that claim there and then didn't cause the reaction that
I think that's a good point.
That's a really
Since he's got me on my timer. No, you're tired, bro. You're tired. So I was gonna tell you guys this is the best debate I've seen in 10 years.
I hope so, man.
I'm dead serious.
That's very kind of you.
Everyone take 3
So I said that to Alex, and I said that to David and others, that I think this is the best debate I've seen in 10 years. Because it was two individuals who respected each other, prepared well, gave arguments properly, sat down, had a good dialogue, and, just overall really, really good conversation. I used to watch a lot of debates. And since the advent of YouTube, debates have gone like really cringy to me. Like extremely cringy to me. And yeah, so I thought the debate was really, really good. Are you seeing anything in the comments here that I need to address? I've highlighted a number of things that I do need to. Let me see.
They're talking about your stance. So what's up with that stance, by the way?
Bro, so I used
Is
to
that
do...
you've always done that?
Yeah, I used to... When you're on your feet a lot doing street ministry and like campus ministry, you develop ways to stand where you don't get tired. And that's just the way I stand. It's just, it's habit. And I was on my feet a lot, so nothing into that.
That's called the alpha dad posture.
Who said that?
And y'all best respected. Reverend Nick Quint.
Alpha dad posture.
You actually took your kids too, right? Your kids were there with you?
I did. Took my kids. And they had a blast because my kids, this is the way Ruslan had intended the conference to be. By the way, there was a kids' room that had a TV in it where everything was being streamed. So the moms, generally, there's some dads in there as well. But with a bunch of kids playing toys and stuff like that, we're able to watch what's going on.
Also, your wife had a good time. I know Arthur's wife very well. She was one of the Sunday school teachers when I was a kid. Not my Sunday school teacher, but my brother's. And it takes a lot for her to say I had a really good time. Like she's not just like, if you ask her how she's doing, she's not necessarily going to say I'm good. How are you? She's going to be honest. And today in the morning at school, she's one of the admins at a Christian school, and I also do chapel there in the mornings. I was like, hey, how was the conference? How was everything? She's like, it was so much fun. We had such a good time. I loved it. I was like, wow. I was not expecting that. I was expecting I'm tired. It was long. No, but she had a great time. Apparently, you guys went to Legoland, and the kids had fun, and the wives were hanging out. So good for you guys.
Yes, I'll tell you this. Ruslan's plan was to make this a kind of mini family vacation for people, to go to a conference. But he didn't want to make it like a really crazy nerdy conference. And so that's partly why there was musical performances and magic show. And like, if it got too intense in regards to content, there was always something in the schedule that kind of brought it down. So it's like a reset button, right? And so we went there. The conference started on Thursday night, but we went there early in the morning because we drove there. And we got there early and then went to Legoland. I went with the family. We sat on all the roller coasters that you need like parents to be with the kids and stuff like that. And really enjoyed it. It was my first time at Legoland. I was very surprised how kid-friendly Legoland is. Like, even Disneyland is not very kid-friendly in my opinion. There's a lot of stuff kids can't do at Disneyland. But the kids were able to sit on like 99% of all the rides and all that stuff. And then the following day, I went to the conference, and then they got up and went. So we got a 2-day pass to Legoland. And then so my wife went with the kids to Legoland, and there was a private entrance from the resort into Legoland.
That's amazing.
So like, you just walk into this person, you show them your card and your tickets, and then they scan it and you go in. It's really cool. You like
so
you
this
like
was like
enter
a resort, like pools. And...
the Westin, yeah.
Oh, Westin, okay.
Yeah, so it's hilarious because you like enter like on the north end of the park, like the entrance is all the way over there, and then you enter here. And yeah, they did all the water rides, and they played and built stuff, and then came back and participated and watched a bunch of panels, and we saw there was a premiere of The Chosen that was shown because Dallas Jenkins was one of the guys that was there. So, and then the debate, like, it was really cool, man. I think it was very well put together. I was very impressed with it. Usually when you go to conferences, at least when I go to conferences, there's so much theological content that you really get burnt out by them. And this wasn't like that, but there was really good content, right? But it was spread out. There was like the theology, philosophy stuff, and then there was like very practical life stuff.
I love that, man.
Into it. So
I love that.
Really, it was. Chef's
So
kiss.
what was your personal takeaway? Like, what did you take away from the conference? Maybe like both in your personal life and as a Christian YouTuber who does this as ministry.
My personal takeaway. Oh man, so I was gonna cross that. My personal takeaway was, I was encouraged. I was like really, really encouraged, by folks that came up to me. Look, I was, out of everyone there, Tom, I probably had the least amount of like followers. All the people on stage and stuff, but I was thoroughly surprised at the amount of people that came up to me and thanked me for my channel and the work that we do here on Apologia Center. Really encouraged. And it was very obvious it was people that watched the channel because they were like, man, we love like your demeanor. We love your nuancing of things. And so we appreciate that. And so personally, it could get very discouraging doing this because of all the randomness that we see on the internet. And so this was, let's see. So Ali says, it was amazing and it was nice to meet you. It was nice to meet you as well. And so that was really encouraging for me, like to continue doing what I'm doing. And people said they learned a lot from the conference. Even though I was on a panel, and being on a panel, you take turns answering questions and stuff like that. People came up to me and they were very appreciative of some of my insight into the questions that were asked. And so yeah, I just felt encouraged personally from that. In regards to YouTube and ministry and stuff like that, one of the cool things, they had a panel on how to do YouTube, multiple panels actually, and one of the cool things about that was sometimes people like accidentally get into it, and their growth is absolutely accidental, and they're like, we don't know what we're doing, but God's using it. And then some people who are like very meticulous and looking at analytics, what video's doing good, what video's not, what should we lean into, and all that stuff. So it was like really, really cool learning from that and saying, where do I want to be? How do I want to balance these things?
Yeah.
So that we do YouTube, but we do it well, and then we utilize all the stuff that we have really well.
Yeah, what bothers me, and I'll be honest, how honest can I be on this channel? There's no like.
Do you ever see
I
me?
feel like we haven't discussed the filters, because I don't know if your subscribers know me. I don't have much of a filter, but I'll try to be honest. Yeah, we can fix that.
I stood up and the camera got scared.
Let me do that, man. You don't have to do that.
I don't know what's. It's not nice not knowing why that's happening. So I didn't turn it off. So if you wanna.
Oh, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, because you were going to be honest right now. Don't be a jerk. That's the policy. The policy is don't be a jerk. Be nice to people. Respect and honor folks. But be as my mentor says, and a gentleman that you know, be transparent. Okay.
Your mentor slapped me in the back of my head this weekend, actually.
Good for him. You probably
That's
deserve
not what
it.
I was going to be honest about. I actually got slapped in the back of the head right there. And you know why he slapped me in the back of the head? I totally saw why he's your mentor, by the way. It's because I told him that haircuts cost $45 now if you want to get a fade. And then if you want to have your beard trimmed as well, you can get upwards of $75. So he slapped me on my head and he said some choice words about why I would be spending all that money in the haircut. And then he said, "Do you pay for the beard?" And then I was like, "No, I do the beard myself." He's like, "At least that." Okay, that's fair. But anyways,
But he's bald, so yeah.
yeah. I was like, "Come on, man! You don't know the struggle we go through as people with hair. People identifying people with hair." Anyways, I was gonna ask you, does it bother you? Maybe I shouldn't ask you this. Whatever, I'm gonna ask. Does it bother you where you see Christian YouTubers or influencers out there? I'm not gonna name any. I'm not even thinking of a specific one that probably shouldn't have the following they have, or they're not prepared as far as kind of the knowledge on speaking about some of these topics, but then they have these kind of like what you said, they have these random following, random growth because maybe they put out a viral video or something like that, and now they have this following. Do you think their responsibility should be to like maybe, I don't know, stop doing what they're doing for a while, become knowledgeable, and then do it, or just like do it, like learn as you go, and then maybe put out a bunch of information that's not true out there for their subscribers to
Does
listen?
it bother me? So, you know, it's
No,
funny because
the reason I say does it bother you, because I know you personally, and I know that there would be much more than 8,000 people that would benefit from the things you have to say. So then when I see you and then I see others out there that are like 50, 60,000 subs, and then I see some of the things they say, I'm like, man, like these guys should not have the platform.
Yeah.
It bothers me. But it bothers me. I'm not a YouTuber, so it doesn't matter.
now
But
you
I'm
are.
sure it bothers
you're
you more.
gonna be a YouTuber now because you're on YouTube. So here's what I would say. It doesn't bother me in the sense of like being a hater. Because especially when it comes to Christianity, I think if their heart is right and they're doing it for the right reasons, and there's people that are hearing the gospel, even though I think they can do it better in a more articulate or nuanced, like theologically responsible and mature way. I don't know whether there's a biblical, I don't know, precedent or something like that on like you can't do YouTube and be a Christian and share about your faith. The difficulty that we run into is when people posture themselves and position themselves as teachers.
Yeah.
So if they're just doing it and then they're Christians, that's a different kind of category in my mind. If they posture themselves as teachers, it becomes maybe a little frustrating, right, in regards to the growth aspect, because it's not that they're growing, it's that a lot of people might be hearing wrong and false information. That's probably where I'm bothered, if we can use that kind of language.
Yeah, but with the YouTube world, it's almost like automatically you're a teacher. Like as soon as you have subscribers, people are joining to hear what you have to say.
You know, that's not necessarily true. Some people are joining just to be entertained.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a troll.
No, just to be entertained. Like, come on, bro. Like, have you seen Ruslan's last like 4 or 5 videos? They're killing it, by the way. Killing it. Like insane. And let me show you the subjects. Now, I've stayed away from making videos on this stuff because there's quite a bit of entertainment value in them, and I don't think it's apologetically like I've thought about doing them, but I want to be apologetically helpful on these issues. Okay? So check this out. These are the last. So JFK Files, okay? 274,000 views in 11 days. The Pyramid Secret Chambers and all that stuff, 1.4 million views in 10 days. Another pyramid video, 6 days ago, 776,000. They're just killing it, right? This one's on Apple's TV show, 70,000. But look at the numbers, right? Look, this one on this show, 70,000. Everything else is above 200,000. Right? This one has 248,000. We didn't find the pyramid pharaoh tombs. We found something much worse. CIA didn't find the Ark of the Covenant. They found something much worse. This one has 334,000 views in 3 days. But it fits his kind of audience and all that stuff. Right? Because it's popular culture. It's the CIA files being revealed, and then he brings it in and ties it into some biblical stuff, and then creates a video on it.
I feel like you should be doing some of this, though.
Yeah, probably.
Especially with me around, I would love to discuss some of these topics. And I feel like apologetics is overarching. It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these topics that these guys are talking about, and Ruslan does a great job. Also, Ruslan is knowledgeable, so it's not he's not one of the randos I'm talking about.
No,
But,
I know that. But what I was
yeah.
trying to make a point at is if you compare the rest of Ruslan's videos, there's a very clear entertainment value in these
Yeah.
videos, where it's great because now a lot more people are being exposed to his channel, his content, and all that stuff. But also a lot of people are coming to watch that to be entertained by it. That makes sense? Huh? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Because clearly there is no internal temperature issue. Because we turn it off and on and it works. So
They don't want me on YouTube, bro. They don't. They don't want me on YouTube, whoever they are. Yeah, I feel you. I get what you're saying. Are you searching? This is amazing. Seeing the background of what you're doing while people are just seeing your books. I feel like if we did talk about some of those subjects, I could come up with some mean, what do you call it? Titles for your videos.
oh, they can't be clickbaity.
Oh, you don't do clickbait? I feel like you should do clickbait. Why not? At this point, I look at videos and I know that it's a clickbait, but I want to click into it.
Because it's clickbait.
I know, but I have the bait in my mind, and I'm like, it could still be something decent that sort of lives up to the clickbait.
And then you're super disappointed at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Are there any questions that we might want to address here? Okay, this is from Amber. What was something that didn't get addressed at the conference that you wished had been talked about? Ooh. That's a good one. It would have been really cool if Ruslan did a talk with Zach. More in depth, because these things were touched upon, but more in depth, like specifically dedicated to that, as to like their strategy of how they do YouTube and what that looks like behind the scenes. I think that would have been a very valuable thing. Now, I say this because I know what they do. I talk to Ruslan, I ask him questions. I've been there. I've seen them like I've seen Zach do a thumbnail that flopped and live change a thumbnail.
Hey, but does Zach's video camera tell him that he's too hot, so the temperature's shutting it down? I don't think Zach has that.
Shots fired. Shots fired at Zach. Oh, man. What was the camera?
Guys, we're gonna get this figured out. Also, I'm gonna have a desk here with a laptop, so I don't have to keep turning around and looking at my phone to see what you guys are saying.
Yeah, we're
Let's
working on
perfect this by next week.
that. I think so. Yeah, I mean, we're doing it, and we're also seeing the issues that are coming up, like this
Yeah.
internal camera temperature thing's really weird. Because we had this on the other day, not live. So it has to do with like going live. Because not live, there was no internal
Yeah, it
temperature
stays
issue.
on.
Now we're connected and going live.
I think it's a camera. I think it's a setting in the camera we need to adjust.
You think so?
I think so. That might have to do with the live feed, but I think it's a camera setting.
I'm looking at what the AI is saying. Check the auto power off temp setting.
You're asking the wrong questions, brother. It should be, why is it that every time my handsome friend Tom sits behind the camera,
He's
all
also-
of a sudden it
He's
loses,
also funny.
loses
Ladies,
all its temperature?
ladies, he's married. Oh man, Henry said it's an apologist power level meter. He's a meter. That's hilarious. Okay. JP was talking about the world's best Mormon debater, something fierce. I heard he debated Avery. How did that go? I live listened to that. I would say it's more of a conversation and not a debate. But the way JP thinks debates are and the way I think debates are or should be are very different. JP, I said this to JP, Tom. Not just JP, there was a couple of other people I said this to, but I said, I met JP for the first time in person, which was really, really cool that we got to hang out. But I said, JP, you like, I said, you like turning things on fire and just watching them burn. So he likes it when two people go at it and cut each other off, and like it's an informal debate, what we call informal debate. I think there's a value to informal debates. I enjoy them. They're if the person opposite to me actually knows how to have a proper conversation, I enjoy it quite a bit. But telling you got to do that. You want to do that? But I enjoy structured debates as well. Should I tell you what to do? Okay. So as Tom is fixing stuff, you unplugged the thing, right? Okay. Okay. I think Jacob is a really sharp and quick and bright guy, by the way. So JP might as well become Mormon, by the way. Arthur just call him an instigator at this point. To a certain extent, he kind of lives up to it. Okay, what else? What else, folks? I highly recommend. Now, they're probably going to sit down and go back to the drawing board and see how and in which ways they can do this well. But everybody at the conference that we spoke to said they loved it, and they can't wait for the next one. So that was really cool. Very, very well received. There was people from all across the country that were there. There was people from Canada that were there. Have we all hit the like button, folks? We got 40 people in here. Tom, I don't get 40 people on my streams regularly, bro. The first day you come in here and we got 40 people in here. Must be you. JP mentioned you gave it to Jacob. I did not give it to Jacob. I asked Jacob whether I should become a Mormon, considering that Mormon doctrine allows me still to have a pretty decent existence in heaven. And I said, and he should become a Christian, because if I'm right, then essentially it's Pascal's wager applied to Mormonism. And Jacob and his friend thought that was a brilliant argument. They didn't have a response to it. So I'll just say that. Just keep it there. Still think it's a good argument. What is a theological topic that you and Tom will fight about? What's a theological topic me and Tom will fight about? Tom doesn't like fighting me. And he says weird stuff like dogs will go to heaven and stuff. You got it? So the other day, Tom made a comment about like, why can't God? Why can't God make my dog reappear in heaven or something like that? Like reconstitute him. And I was, he's had pets, so he's got emotional issues. And I was like, yeah, and he was like, well, I'm just saying, why can't he? Because he just loves me. He'll give me my dog in eternity. I was like, sure, Tom. Okay, no problem. Have fun. I just think animals stop existing when they die. Bottom one, you got it? Oh, more. I think Tom fixed the issue. Tom, more that way. Yeah, more. Oh, you're good. I think he fixed the issue. And just hit the key. Okay, let's see.
All right, I'm back. I've got to slouch a little, though. How tall do you guys think I am?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this guy's like, send a link, handsome man. I'm not going to send you a link. There's no link right now because it's unfair. Tom he can't hear anything. There's no, by tomorrow, we will have earpieces so Tom is able to hear what's going on.
So a theological issue we disagree on is I'm a Calvinist, believe it or not.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
My favorite flower is the tulip.
Your favorite flower is not the tulip, bro.
Wait, what's your favorite flower?
I'm going to mute you.
What's your favorite flower?
My favorite flower is the tulip.
Oh, no way. Maybe we can find some agreement here.
But I like the tulip flower because I like the flower. You like the tulip because it stands for a theological view.
A beautiful flower for a beautiful theological view.
Yeah. That's why you like Donald Trump as well. Nick said you're 4'9".
Close.
I agree with you know what, because you saw this, Jacob, the LDS guy that was on with Trent Horn and on the what's it called, Jubilee podcast. You, Tom, think he's a very good debater.
Yeah, I think he's articulate, and I think he does this self-deprecation in the beginning of his debates where he says, I know you Christians mock the Mormons all the time about the things we believe and laugh at us for saying, God has a wife and like it's kind of this way to like normalize those views and say, oh, you just mock us. But then in reality, a lot of those views are actually true. But he does a good job, like starting a debate like that. I did very good in my community college debate class, by the way. Starting a debate with like a self-deprecating joke or a comment kind of allows the audience to be like, okay, fine, then I won't make fun of some of the things the guy has to say. But anyways, all that being said, he is articulate. He does a good job.
I think so.
He keeps his cool, but he's still kind of like, he's fiery, but he still keeps his cool. And so, out of the Mormon debaters out there, he's a decent one. So yeah.
I think he's pretty knowledgeable on Christian Christian thought. By the way, there was something he didn't know that I corrected him on. He brought up a conversation about theosis, and Mormons generally do. They bring up this conversation about theosis. If you're interested in the conversation about theosis, maybe one of my mods can drop this in the chat. I have an interview with Carl Moser on theosis. And one of the things he said was that, the Eastern Orthodox believe in theosis or deification. And I told him, so do Protestants. And he didn't know that. He didn't know that Protestants historically have held to a view like theosis. But he was able to articulate, I think, in that conversation, that when we say theosis, even when the Greek Orthodox, say theosis, they don't mean that we become ontologically like God, that we share in his divine nature, but we don't become God in that sense, right? But he didn't know that Protestants held to that view as well. And folks like Calvin, for example. So I had to correct him on that, and I told him I had an interview with a guy about it. He should check it out. He said, dude needs to meet a Methodist.
Mhm.
Come on now. Preach it, Nick. So yeah, there is a Protestant version of theosis. I don't know whether it's like exactly the same thing or not, because sometimes it depends on the words we're using and stuff. Thank you, Jerome, for dropping that. Appreciate it. So yeah, man, very, very encouraging, very good conference, summit. Everything was good. The food was good. The folks were good. Like, it was just like the right kind of people that were there. There was a number of, like during the debate, there was a couple of Eastern Orthodox priests that showed up. Father Josiah, who's like really big online, he showed up. There was a number of atheists that were there. The Mormons were there.
Are you allowed to share how the debate started, or you're gonna wait till it? Was it? I mean, if it was streaming, it's fair game. If there was a, because what you told me was very funny yesterday, man. I feel like your audience, 40 people consistently today, they deserve to hear it.
Only if they drop
a 1 and a like if you want to hear it.
If the numbers look the way I want them to look, I'll share the story. So hit the like button and drop the number 1, and I'll share the story. Maybe. But it's like witnessing it is so much better. But it was great. So let's see. Only Jacob wants it. We're not doing it. JP Uncut said, "What was your first impression of meeting me? You are taller than I thought and skinnier than I thought." JP. Dylan says, "Am I wrong to think theosis is similar to the process of justification, sanctification, and glorification?" You are not wrong. Yeah, and it could be that some people, when they say theosis, they mean glorification, but there's a lot that goes into that. But you're very close to that, so you are not wrong about it. Y'all, I found Tom's secret channel, YouTube channel. What is that?
Yo, chill before you click on that. Okay, that's funny.
Did you see it?
I think so.
I can't get my mouse to go there.
I think we have enough ones, Arthur. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
40 people in here and only 10 people have dropped one. Oh, numbers dropped. It went. People were like, "This guy wants us to drop." Okay. So I'll just tell you guys the beginning of the debate that I really enjoyed. David Wood got up there and introduced the debate. He said, "Thank you." He thanked Alex for being there. And he said, "Alex, thank you for being here, even though you're a month and a half late." Because this debate was supposed to happen at DebateCon. And then he went off on this tangent about how it's understandable why Alex had to take precautions because England is turning into a Sharia-compliant hellhole. For those who don't know, David Wood, I don't know if you know this, Tom, David Wood has been banned from entering England.
Wow.
He tried
What's
to go
up with Europe, man?
Bro, he tried to go to England like
2
months ago or a month ago. And they were like, "You can't come to our country."
I'm not surprised at all, actually.
So, yeah. And Alex had the better of the funny aspects of the opening remarks. He got up there and he said thank you and so on and so forth. And he said, or as we say in England, assalamu alaikum. That was brilliant. I gave Alex a point on that for his laughability.
Isn't it law now in London? You have to greet each other with that. I heard that's been instituted.
Stop making stuff up.
Fact check me on that one.
No, we can't just make up random stuff on the show. We're known to be like rigorous in our thinking. We can't just randomly make up stuff. It's like one of these guys now is gonna go tell their mom, "Mom, did you know England passed a law where you have to tell people?"
Yeah, so she's gonna say "Salam alaikum." First, greet me before you speak.
and then she's gonna go tell all her friends. Next thing you know, because of you, there's like 100 people who believe England's passed laws.
That wouldn't be the worst thing they believe about England. By the way, do you see all this craziness happening with Marine Le Pen in France?
Yeah, I saw a thing that
so
she's
Marine
been.
Le Pen is the front runner. She's up by about 18%.
No, I know who she is. I saw
Yeah.
that she is. She's being imprisoned for 4 years.
Yeah, for 4 years, 2 suspended because of embezzlement. And the actual charges, by the way, are like she used money that was supposed to go towards the European Union part of her party's finances and used it more towards the nationalist side of the finances, which would be just ridiculous. And because of this, by the way, she's barred from running for 5 years. So she's not going to be able to run for the presidency. So Europe has bigger problems than the salam alaikum.
I don't know, man. It sounds fishy to me.
Yeah.
I saw a report that a judge, I think she's a lady. That sounds weird. I think she's a lady. Like, of course, if it's a she's a lady. But nowadays, no, like what I meant is I think the judge is a female. Was found murdered or killed or died or something. And she was working on some stuff with the like some stuff against the CIA.
Yeah. There was another girl this morning who released a video. So Jeffrey Epstein's top accuser released a video this morning about how she was basically dying in the hospital, like barely made it out. I think she still might be dying. She has a few days to live. And she got hit by like a car randomly. Like she got ran over somewhere. You guys can check the story, like just type it in. A lot of shady stuff happening this morning. This camera turning on and off.
It hasn't turned off.
Something's going on.
I think you fixed it. She judges would be a lady. So.
If I wasn't a Calvinist, Tom, if you weren't a Calvinist, what denomination would you be?
Well, Calvinism is not a denomination.
Yeah, it's not. Currently, I don't have a denomination. I'm a non-denominational, charismatic, former Pentecostal Calvinist.
Also known as extremely confused, but I'm playing. I'm
a charismatic Calvinist.
Absolutely
That's what I am.
playing. There are charismatic Calvinists.
Like I sing charismatic songs, and I pray loudly, and I share my emotions with the Lord and my brothers. But then I also believe in the biblical aspect of.
But it's very interesting when you say charismatic, you mean more in demeanor, not in theology.
Yeah, more in demeanor.
But you're not necessarily a cessationist.
No. I played around with that in the last few years, but I'm not comfortable with that, and it's been some personal reasons why I'm not comfortable with cessationism.
Would you like to share one of those stories?
Yeah, why not? I'll share some.
So here's a story Tom's going to share. Man, we can clip this out. It could be like Arthur speaks prophetic word over someone.
Oh, that's the story. I have a few stories with you personally. You have just been a dangerous Pentecostal around me. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have, you can share all of them. You can share any one of them. We're going to have Tom share a couple of situations in which the Lord has spoken to him. This would be fair to say, right, Tom?
Yeah.
That the Lord has spoken to you through me.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, share. I'm gonna give you the camera.
I haven't had a lot of I haven't had probably I haven't had any situation outside of you. And I think the reason God would do it that way is because I respect you. All cringiness aside, our theme at camp this weekend was date disciple the person like you're dating them. So like be in like a date relation, and that turned kind of like it went really off the cliff, and people were like just being boys and making fun of each other. Anyways, one of the experiences we had really interesting. So when I became a Calvinist, I did fear. I would say I had a fear of the gifts of the Spirit, especially pertaining to tongues and prophecy and miraculous healings of that sort, because I think they have been abused, by the way, big time. But I remember one of these, probably a year ago, we were in the church parking lot. So we were kind of hanging out. Man, I wish I could be like more motiony with my hands. It's so hard. I'm not used to speaking like this where I'm just sitting behind the mic. But we had this situation where Arthur, me, and a couple other guys were in a parking lot, in our church parking lot, and this lady walked in, and she was like, you could tell she was crazy, but I immediately knew she was like demon possessed. Either demon possessed or acting like she had demon possession. Like it wasn't your regular drug addict, homeless person who has mental issues or something of that sort where you feel bad and you're like, hey, you know, this person needs help. It was like a really clear sign of like some kind of demonic possession. And this lady walked up to us and she started kind of like screaming, like, give me food, I want food. And then, who are you? And stuff like that. And she would change her tone and she'd be like, hey, I just want some food. You guys have any food in here? And then we would like reply, who are you? She'd be like, Jesus is gonna be killed. Like stuff like really like intense stuff. Like, I am your enemy. And actually at one point, Arthur, correct me if I'm wrong, but she started like attacking one of the other guys that was there. Like not like hardcore, but started grabbing him.
Yes,
by his
grabbing an arm, pushing him,
stuff like that. Got really physical with him. And I remember at that point, I was super creeped out. So I remember us kind of like backing away from, and she was saying creepy stuff like about Jesus and kind of uttering these weird things up. By the way, I always thought growing up as a Pentecostal that like a demon can't say Jesus, or that if like you just say Jesus in front of a demon possessed person, the demon is just gonna fly out and start like running around, and that clearly wasn't the case because she was saying Jesus in a kind of condescending way. But anyways, we kind of stepped back and I heard you speaking in tongues. This might have been the first time I heard you speaking in tongues. I could tell you were trying to be reserved, like to yourself, and whatever. Eventually, one of the brothers led that person out, and when we all got together afterwards to discuss like what you felt, I clearly felt the Holy Spirit was telling me like, hey, don't engage with this person. Like, shut your mouth. Just lead them out of here. And then Arthur, Mr. Apologetics, said he felt the same thing. And a couple of other guys said they felt the same thing. But anyways, in that moment where he was speaking in tongues and I felt like God was telling me something, it was one of those eye-opening moments. Like, why would he be speaking in tongues and then at the same time the Holy Spirit be working through me to reveal something in my heart when this guy is just completely making up what he's saying? Like, my brother next to me in this intense situation would be completely making something up. So that was one of the big moments for me where I was like, okay, dude, chill out. Like, there are things that you're going to experience that you probably are kind of shutting down in your mind and not allowing those experiences to take place because of this preconceived notion that if I'm a Calvinist, it means I can't believe in any of this. And that clearly wasn't true. One of the examples there.
Yeah, that was an interesting situation.
But you remember that, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was a scary moment.
Yeah. And it's not like whenever I see and meet people that are I'm trying to be very careful with the words here. If individuals have a deficiency, let's say, or a mental handicap or something like that, my initial reaction isn't, or they're demon possessed or something like that. Like that doesn't happen very often. But I think it was pretty obvious. The moment of it was very interesting, right? Like we had come out of a joint elders deacons meeting.
Yeah.
And so there's an aspect of the story why it makes a lot more sense to think that way. But yeah. Question for Tom. Does Calvinism fundamentally teach meticulous divine determinism within its theological framework?
No, I wouldn't say so. I would say there's opposing views on that, and it's a very difficult conversation. And I've had that with my friends. I feel like it would be an easy cop out for me to go the determinist route, because then I could just answer all my questions with that. But there's a little bit of a tension, and I'm comfortable with being in a place where I'm battling that tension of, like, there was another example just came in, or a question: does Tom believe in free will?
Yes, Nick said, "Don't worry about that bad stuff happening, Tom. God predestined it."
Okay, so this is gonna just turn into let's mock the Calvinist guy.
I'll defend you. I'll defend you. You got me.
Yeah, so.
I think it's like it's actually a very lame argument, even though I think it's fun. In regards to like a serious debate, the whole like God predestined me to be a non-Calvinist.
Yeah,
like it's just I don't know.
It's funny. I'll give you that.
It's funny, but I don't think like people use it in serious conversations.
Like there's like those like one-liners you can use.
Bazinga. Super chat from Henry. Thank you very much for all the non-denominational charismatic Calvinists in the house.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Tom's bringing in the big bucks.
That's my charismatic side. Please send it in. Keep sending it. Keep sending it in.
This guy, Tom, we've gotten...
Repent after. That's my Calvinist side. Repent after.
Tom, we've gotten $11.98 given to us today in Super Chats. And I think that's all going to go to your rent.
Amazing. Come on, guys. Make me happy. Send some more Super Chats. This guy doesn't ask for it because he's not very, he's not that kind of guy, but send them in, man. Send Super Chats. Get me a headphone so I can hear what I'm saying here. Get some new wiring for me so I can hear what you guys are saying. Also, my eyes are starting to hurt because I'm looking at your screen and it's so far away.
Is it?
Yeah.
You might need glasses.
I might need glasses. And also, like, when I turn my neck here, I just look awkward on camera. But anyways, we'll fix all that.
We're gonna
so
guys,
get
send
more Super
Hey, you know what we
Chats
need to do? Maybe we should put like a hydraulic thing up there where we pull down a screen for you.
Oh, that would be amazing. Maybe Pisabi. Hey, if you guys send Super Chats, I'll renounce Calvinism on a future stream.
This guy, bro, he sold his soul in a matter of an hour and a half.
I'm worse than Judas. I sold it for $11.
Oh man, it's too funny. But the thing is that I don't regularly speak about that stuff. And I know, like, I've gotten a lot better recently about like what it looks like to fundraise and fund the ministry and all that stuff. But we do have a Patreon, folks. If anybody wants to support us, we'd love to have your support.
Support us, please. Support the rent. It's expensive in here.
You guys know now why I've asked Tom to do this.
And I'm just getting used to this, man. I'm not comfortable right now. I'm getting used to this.
He'll grow into it. Libertarian Calvinism is moving up in the world. Oliver Crisp has helped make Reformed theology more nuanced than the YRR, Young, Restless, and Reformed movement. That's probably true because Oliver Crisp is a serious thinker. There's JP. I was going to say something, but I'm going to hold that back. There is a plan. Tom, there's a plan.
All right.
Okay? JP's involved in this plan, and as are a bunch of other people, of an open invite to Muslims in New York. And a bunch of folks are going to go to New York sometime in August, I think.
Ooh.
Maybe, possibly. So he said, JP was like, Art, come. And I was like, bro, a bunch of stuff needs to make sense for me to come to that. One of them being it's got to be finance and stuff. He goes, start a GoFundMe. I'll share it on my stream. I go,
what
you know,
is
my
this? What's going on? You guys are. It's like a debate.
they did this I think last year sometime where like Avery showed up to Times Square and invited a bunch of Muslims and Hebrew Israelites to like go up and have a conversation. This is like when Arthur told me that I had to become a Christian if I lost a bet to him.
I love the chat today.
Oh yeah, the chat is fire
chat.
today. I'm telling you, bro, you've been on here and like it's killing it.
Dude.
Like I've been doing this for a long time.
We should do this, man. We should do this more often.
Maybe you got to come back tomorrow. Dude, the hours are weird, man. But we'll fix it. We'll do something. You know, if we're fully funded, we'd be able to do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
Very fraudulent behavior happening on the stream today.
What's going on, JR?
It's not fraudulent. Tom, for some reason, said he needs to pay $3,000 rent to live in this little tiny thing in here. There's no bed in here, by the way.
I'm gonna make sure that he starts putting up some clickbait titles to his videos.
No.
Like today's is gonna be London makes it law to say salam ... And then I guarantee you the video is gonna pop off.
That's true, but we're not.
And then we're gonna be banned from England.
We're not doing that. Hey, Jerome, can you fact check that? Did England pass a law saying you have to greet each other by saying Salam Alaikum? You're there.
Ooh, thank you, Tatiana, for the super chat.
I'm dead.
Cheapskate.
I am dead, bro. There's money for your rent. Oh gosh.
That's my wife, by the way. At least, like, send more than a minimum amount. Someone wants me out of the house.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have a headache for the rest of the day.
I
now.
washed your car this morning, lady.
And she's only giving you $2 for it, and it's on YouTube. YouTube takes 30%, and it doesn't even go to you.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Really messed up. Oh man. Tom makes a thumbnail with Trump fist bumping John Calvin. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Tom might.
Dude sent him enough for an iTunes song. That's so good. That's such. Can you do one of those like buttons you click? The
Which
fire,
one? Which
like, I
one?
don't
Which
know,
one?
like,
This
that
is a
was good
sickness.
This is
Yeah.
a sickness
Of the
the highest
Here,
order.
wow, it's a great.
Hey, oh man, I forgot I was gonna, oh, Tom actually has this great ability of editing videos. He's a good editor. He makes some fire shorts. I think there's a short here that Tom made. But it was a while ago.
The Pisabi one, not the Pisabi one, with the Trump inauguration.
The Trump inauguration short you
That
made.
was a good one. That was a really good one. I gotta admit.
Is it? No, that's West of Cooks.
How long ago was that?
But you made some other ones, man.
Yeah.
Did you make this Trump endorses Harris?
No.
I feel like you made that one.
Man, I love that inauguration video, though. I've watched that so many times.
The dancing.
With you and Pisabi. Hilarious.
Yeah.
How does it feel knowing that we're going to add Greenland to these United States?
Will Greenland become another state? That's just a weird thing.
Be a territory. I mean, Trump said we're going to get it. Either we're going to buy it or we're going to go in there militarily. He said that today on NBC News.
Not. Militarily?
Yeah, I'm not joking about that one. You guys can fact check me on that one. He said we're either going to get it or we're going to come in there military and get it. And you know what? I support it. Get Greenland at all costs. We need some more greenery here in the United States.
Bro, I'm not in favor of that, by the way. Wow.
Yeah, I told you, military force right there.
Look at this, guys.
Yeah. See,
Trump
guys?
doesn't rule out military force to take Greenland. Bro, this is bad.
It's not that bad. We already have military presence there. We have bases.
Yeah.
They're being treated really badly by Denmark. I mean, this would be like the worst case scenario.
Like, how are they being treated badly by Denmark other than Trump just saying they are?
Is there
Like,
anything
can we
else
do
we
like
need?
can we do like a happiness of Greenland population with Denmark? Canada's going to become okay, so AI says while Denmark consistently ranks high in global happiness surveys, research on the happiness of the Greenlandic population, which is under Danish sovereignty, is less common, and there's no direct data comparing Greenland's happiness with Denmark's. That's not the question I asked,
Yeah, but that's
Mr. AI.
enough
I was
evidence right there.
asking whether the people in Greenland are happy with
That
Denmark.
which you just read justifies a military invasion.
No, it doesn't.
And it's from the AI overview.
I think what's going
You
to
don't
end
need
up
more.
happening after these live streams is they're going to have to be taken down. Because
sorry, man.
Because Tom's...
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to give me more like parameter of what I can say or what I can't.
This guy's
I have to go
advocating
in
for a
2 minutes, by the
military
way.
takeover of another sovereign state.
It's yeah. You guys need to do some research on Greenland's treaties with the United States and why the U.S. should wield more of its power than it does in these areas.
Maybe so.
Hmm.
Maybe so. The
But I'm just
Greenland...
kidding, by the way. I'm not for
the-
like a military invasion.
Denmark's prime minister, I think, came out and made a comment. He's like, hey, we don't appreciate these things because we consider you guys an ally. And we'd really, like, we have this pact from 1951. Let's enforce it. Let's do this. Let's do that. It was very interesting. So it's just sometimes I don't know whether Trump is negotiating, like these are negotiating tactics, or like he's serious.
That's the point of negotiation.
Yeah, and I know, but that's what I mean. Like
for example, it sucks that I have to go right now. It's funny because he just like went off on Putin in that same interview because he's like his demands are too high, and if he keeps doing this, I'm gonna put tariffs and secondary tariffs on Russia. And what secondary tariffs is, you basically tariff oil being sold to both the United States and other countries that are receiving oil from Russia. So that would be like a major blow to Putin. So, Trump he uses these weird negotiation tactics, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's a headline,
Yeah. Well, it's, I think, always a headline, and sometimes it works.
Hey, man, I got to head out.
Tom's got to go.
It's a bummer because I'm enjoying this, but my child is going to be standing in the middle of the street.
Maybe one of the things that we need to do, Tom, is on Mondays at least, start these earlier.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like maybe 11 a.m. our time or something like that.
Amazing.
10:30.
Well, you're still going to stay on so I
am
can
staying
listen
on.
to you in the car. Thank you guys for having me, accepting me as part of this. Apologia
Ladies
Center.
and gentlemen. Man, I wish I had that Chicago Bulls theme like loaded up in here.
Would be leaving. It's like an exit song.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Mr. Tom. We just call him Mr. Tom. Like Mr. Rogers. He doesn't here and read stories.
Uncle Tom.
Bro.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Okay. Easy. So, Tom, again, he's going to be with us at least once a week. If we can have him here more often, then we will. And you guys see how the dynamics changes a little bit. It gives me great joy having someone in this very lonely place at times. So, thank you, Tom. Appreciate it,
guys.
brother.
God bless.
Don't forget your. It's okay. That's Nick Quint's paper he wrote. He sent me. Hey, give me that.
What?
Just to prove that I printed it out. I just haven't read it yet. This is a paper that was sent to me. And I want to read the title of this. This is by Reverend Nick Quint. The Cosmic Rectification of God. Universal Salvation in Paul's Apocalyptic Theology. Chapter 1. I printed it out. I don't want to read it electronically. I want to read it physically in my hands. Thank you for this, Rev. Appreciate it. If he's still here, I'm not sure. I think he is still here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like this kind of headlines. America coming to save the oppressed Greenlandians. Oh gosh. It's gonna crash after Tom leaves. Like this thing's like people are just gonna leave, huh? So folks, how's it going, by the way? We good? What did you guys think about that? Like that kind of a segment? I'd really like to hear your opinions on. Now today was a bit different because we didn't necessarily have a subject we were discussing. There was a theology or philosophy or an apologetic subject. We spoke about the summit. Somebody did ask about a price on the summit. So since I was one of the speakers, it's a bit different for me. But I'd go check it out. Do I think it's expensive? No, not if you go to conferences regularly. I'll tell you this. It might seem expensive if you don't go to conferences regularly. Every single one of my friends that go to conferences regularly, I showed them the price. And folks said that there's no, like they said, we're surprised that a 3-day conference would be that cheap, is the response that I got. So there was different packages, Jacob. I don't know. I can't give you like prices like that. But there were kind of VIP tickets. There were different kinds of packages for the ticketing of the event. Okay. Now the virtual ticket was like $50, and also if people couldn't afford it or they couldn't afford it fully, there were scholarships that had been offered. So a number of people were there who somebody paid for them to be there. And I just said it's refreshing seeing Tom speaking with you. You guys have a great dynamic. Thank you. I appreciate that. We do. That's definitely true. It was a podcast and personality. I enjoy those. Nice. So what you guys are telling me is that Tom needs to be here a lot more. For as much as that was going on, it seemed reasonable. Yeah, Jimmy, I think so, man. Considering the lineup and the amount of people that were there, definitely. Yeah, but you can go to video game. You should go to video game conventions or something. I don't know. There's a number in the United States that happen, Comic-Con and stuff like that. You can show up to those. I'm just bugging you a little bit. It's okay. You're late, bro. We're in an hour and a half, hour and 35 minutes in. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Just realized I haven't checked my phone, man. Oh gosh, this is nuts. What is going on? Sorry, guys.
boy.
Sorry, guys, I got to respond to these. I got to listen to something here. And how do we mute this? I realized my phone's been on silent and a lot of people have been texting me, so. Excuse me. I I don't know whether I should feel good about this or not. He brings a sense of liveliness to you, uh, a liveliness that you bounce off of as well. That's true. That's so. I guess this is the advantages of being sort of an extroverted individual. Is that if I have people around me, I'm high energy, and I tend to be lower energy when I'm alone sitting down and talking to a camera, even though you guys are there, and I try to keep that energy level up. I just some of it, like, I just can't help it. That's just, it is what it is. But you're right. I think that's a very, very astute observation there, Jacob. So this is all good. Everything is good. I know. There's going to be a conservative conference in the IE in a little. Inland Empire is what IE stands for, I'm assuming. In a little, and there's always a panel of local priests, pastors, and evangelists that speak. I like it. I think it's fun. Well, that's cool. Wait, did Sam say about... Let me see what's going on. Supposedly, according to some rumors... Oh, D
Let's do
Wood.
it.
Let's do
It's
it.
all
D Wood is live right now. some rumors out there that Sam Stramoon said David Wood lost the debate. If there is, I don't know what Sam is like. I don't know. Does anybody have a clip I can watch? If there's a clip, then I'd like to watch it because I just that's not true. Okay. How do you feel about the person Sam Shamoon? Why would you have to say how do I feel about the person? Like, why is it not how do I feel about Sam Shamoon? I think Sam's like an extremely intelligent individual. Really, really smart. And I just have problems with the way he interacts with folks. I have a problem with the way he talks to people. I have a problem with kind of, at times, extremely unhinged behavior. And that's it. Overall, I'm personally very friendly with Sam. When we see each other, we hug each other. Yeah, like there's no issues there. You're a great conversationalist. When you have anyone on, you always have a great dynamic with whoever. But Tom and yourself have good chemistry. Thank you. What does the word say? What's up? Greeting, fellow Earthlings. Hello. Why does Arthur look concerned? I'm not concerned. I did change the lighting in here because Ruslan complained and Tom complained. Ruslan complained big time the other day when he was on here. He was like, bro, your lighting's making me look this and that. And yeah, he's right. The only one of the things, here's what I realized. This is interesting. I realized the problem is not necessarily the lighting and all that stuff. Like, it has to do with skin tone. The problem is that I'm bald, which is not a problem for me, but it's a problem for lighting. Because that guy, Ruslan, and that guy, Tom, they have a full head of hair. And the light doesn't bounce off of their shiny head. The light bounces off my shiny. So if it's brighter than what it is now, if it's a little bright, you see this like shine I got going on here? Yeah, that's the light. But if it's brighter than that, it just becomes white. It becomes that color instead of kind of that color. The darker. Like, I'm darker than this. And so that's partly why I can't make it like that. Unless I change up the entire lighting in here, which I'm not going to do. So, but it is a bit brighter. That this camera, this light, that other light, all brighter now. Ruslan doesn't have a golden hue. This is true, but he also has a full head of hair. Did you know it is official LDS theology that God populated other planets with his sons and daughters? So I can't say I knew that it's official theology, but I knew that that's a part of the theology. Oh, that camera's on. I didn't realize the other camera's on. Left it on. But we fixed that issue, which is great. It was a settings issue, and we were able to figure it out during this stream. Always good. Okay, guys. Let me just call it a day. I might be back on tonight, depending on how things go. Not on my channel, on JP Uncut's channel, because he's going to be discussing the debate a little bit, and I got some thoughts and opinions on the debate. So, I think I don't know what time he's going on. Last I checked, it said 5 hours. It's just kind of weird talking about this stuff since people haven't seen the debate. Yeah, the debate's title. Let's see, let's pull this up. So this says right here, I was there, it says that I was there. David Wood lost? Question mark. Shamoon said David Wood lost debate against Alex O'Connor. Was he right? Plus open Trinity panel. So that's, if I can make it to that, I will. That's what I told JP. Sure, if you guys have questions, Jay Rich, we made that announcement. I think I showed pictures and videos, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we did get that computer. So we were able to fund, the computer cost like $880 altogether. There's some warranty stuff in there, whatever. But the cost of it ended up around $880. We fundraised $900 through various means. And so we have purchased it. That's the computer I'm streaming off of right now. I'm trying to find a picture of the before and after. Not the before and after, the two computers next to you. I want you guys to see the difference between the older and newer Macs. I can't find it. But yes. Yes, we did. Thank you, Nick. If anybody wants to support the work we're doing, go to Patreon. There it is. It's in the description box. Click on it. How would one minister to someone who doesn't believe in the earth? Sorry, how would one minister to someone who doesn't believe the earth is 6,000 years old? I'm going to be ministering to someone really close to me. He is generally interested in learning and believing. How? I don't think the earth is 6,000 years old. It's completely fine for them not to think the earth is 6,000 years old. Just grant it. Like, even if you disagree with it, grant it, because there are Christians who don't think the earth is 6,000 years old. That is not an issue when it comes to evangelism. It's not an issue when it comes to sharing the gospel. Unless we're going to add all sorts of, I wouldn't even say that's a secondary issue. That's maybe a tertiary issue, maybe even beyond that. As to like what that would mean when it comes to ministering to them. So if they don't believe it, just say, okay, the Bible doesn't teach it. Or say, I don't think the Bible teaches. Maybe that's what's going to calm their heart. Maybe what will calm their heart is them knowing that there's a Christian like yourself who doesn't think it's 6,000 years old. Or if you do believe it, then you tell them there are Christians that I respect who don't believe it. Right? Any one of those is, I think, fine. Oh, I brought up the conservative conference panel because Pastor Scott usually hosts that portion. And it would be cool to get you there, brother. Hey, if he calls me up and there's something I can say about it, like if the topic fits, I wouldn't mind. I probably missed a lot of comments earlier on, guys. Sorry. So that's one of the things I realized doing this is when you're alone, you're interacting with specific people's comments. And then when you have someone sitting next to you, you're interacting with them and keeping up with the comments, especially when there's a lot of people. It gets a bit difficult. That's why Tom had his thing open and he was trying to navigate that. He was trying to navigate the comments. Okay, I do want to preserve my voice because I feel it's still strained. I had a lot of conversations over this last weekend. Lots of rich conversations, lots of really good conversations. Here's one of my favorite things at the conference. I'll leave you guys with this. One of my favorite things at the conference was that every single individual that attended the conference had the ability to interact with, I would say, 99% of the individuals that spoke at the conference. They had the ability and the opportunity to pull them aside, talk to them, ask them questions, take pictures with them. Any one of those things. It doesn't matter who it was. They had the opportunity to do that. And I thought that was great because you don't see that in a lot of places. So I'll just leave you guys with that because I think that's a really good note doing this recap to leave you on that. Take care. God bless you guys. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. If not, hopefully Wednesday. So keep an eye out for streams. Keep an eye out for some videos that could potentially be released. Take care and God bless.